teammates will share with you the registration link. Okay, one of our teammates will share with you the registration link in the chat box. You can also share it through our YouTube channel. So now we are officially streaming and we are live in our YouTube channel. So my name is John Baluyot and I'm going to be, again, your main facilitator for this session called Building a Growth Mindset at Work. Why am I here? So yan ang ating topic today. So we are from Positive Workplaces and our mission is to co-create cultures that enhance the well-being of the Filipino workforce. Nakakatuwa po na meron na po tayong 140 people, no, who are here to be able to learn how to create more positive workplaces. Regardless po kung estudyante pa lang kayo or you're already part of the workforce, all of us need to know how to be part of that type of culture. Kasi nga po, ang ating sinasabi is, bago po kayong makakreate ng positive workplaces, we always need to lead from ourselves first. Ano ba yung knowledge na kailangan nating makuha para eventually hindi tayo maging toxic na tao? Kasi nga po pag toxic tayo na tao, then ultimately yung mga kasama natin, mahahawa din po yan ng ating toxicity. And when we become better at leading ourselves, eventually we start leading others. So nagkakaroon tayo ng mas marami pong kaalaman or knowledge when it comes to the way we are regulating ourselves and when it comes to influencing others as leaders. At eventually po, na nakakabuo tayo ng mga kultura. Yun po yung maganda po. No? Pag nakakabuo tayo ng mga kultura, yun po yung mga naglalast na mga values and practices sa ating mga workplaces or sa eskwelahan na tinatanggap ng mga kasama natin doon sa organization that we are part of. And eventually, yung mga positive cultures po na yun po yung nagke-create ng tinatawag natin na positive workplaces. So yun po ang ating mission, no? At today po, right? Today, ang ating pong, ako po si John Baluyot, so ito po ang aking very quick na information. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Positive Workplaces. I finished my Master of Leadership in Organizational Learning from Monash University, Australia, as part of the Australia Awards cohort. And I also finished my Master of Business Administration from De La Salle University and my undergraduate of Behavioral Science from the University of Santo Tomas. At ito pong webinar na to ay designed ng aming dalawang research and development team members, si Kurt De Castro at saka si Max Castro. So we're very thankful for them and we really appreciate how much time they have spent to be able to share this type of free webinar to all of us, to all of you. Okay? So, ito po, very important reminders. Number one, if you have another device with you para po magamit nyo sa Mentimeter para makapag-participate po kayo doon sa mga questions na ating mga itatanong, please have that device ready with you. Otherwise, you can just use the same device that you have right now. Mag-shift nga lang kayo ng browser pag naggamit tayo ng Mentimeter. All participants will be on mute. You can ask your questions on Mentimeter or on the chat box. Tapos, ito pong programa natin, meron po itong Certificate of Attendance. Alright? So yung Certificate of Attendance, very, very important lang pong reminder, ha? Mayroon po tayong ilalabas na post-evaluation sheet at the end of this session. Yung mga makaka-receive po ng mga Certificate of Attendance ay yung mga mag-fill out lang po ng ating post-evaluation sheet. Right? So automatic po na marireceive nyo yung post-evaluation sheet after the session, doon po sa chat box, tapos meron po kayong 30 minutes para po i-fill out yon. So paki-make sure po na tama yung pangalan nyo, tama yung email address nyo, kasi po, dahil po konti lang kami sa Positive Workplaces, nahihirapan po kami pag masyado pong marami yung kailangan namin gawin na admin work. So hindi po namin nasisend kaagad yung mga certificates. So please make sure na tama po yung email, tama yung pangalan, at within 30 minutes, you're able to fill out the post-evaluation sheet at the end of the session. Okay, so without further ado, bakit po ba natin pinili itong topic na ito? Bakit po natin pinili yung topic na championing leadership and self-fulfillment in the workplace? At saka bakit po growth mindset? Kasi ngayon po, growth mindset, sa December 15 po, Nikki will be talking about exploring commitment and hope theory at work. So yun, bakit po growth mindset? Ano po yung personal connection ng growth mindset sa akin? Ano po yung personal connection ng growth mindset sa ating lahat? So for me, kaya po very important sa akin itong topic na to is because ever since I was growing up, I was actually a very average student. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? I have an average IQ. So alam mo yung intelligence quotients natin, di ba? Mini-measure yan ng guidance office o kaya ng mga screening sa ating mga eskwelahan, ganyan. I realized that my IQ is just average when I was still in college. So sino ba dito yung mga nakaka-relate dyan na hindi naman ganun kataasan talaga ang intelligence quotient? Tapos nai-insecure tayo kasi yung mga ka-classmates natin na nagtatop sa mga klase, parang feeling natin ang talino nila, ganyan, parang ang bibilis nila makagrasp ng mga konsepto, pero tayo hindi. Parang mas mabagal tayo makagrasp ng konsepto kumpara doon sa iba. Tapos, dahil nga hindi tayo as cognitively gifted. So yun yung isa ko pong reason kung bakit po sobrang passionate ko doon sa growth mindset. Kasi po naniniwala po ako na yung ating pong accomplishments ay hindi po yan dinidiktahan ng intelligence lang ng tao, pero nung effort natin to develop ourselves to actually maximize those faculties that were given to us. So yun po yung isang reason kung bakit po sobrang importante sa akin yung growth mindset at work na topic. Sobrang nakaka-pressure po yung gano'n, no? Alam niyo po, when I was entering college, nag-apply po ako sa mga eskwelahan, ganyan. And karamihan po sa atin, sobrang pangarap natin na makapunta tayo sa top 4, di ba? UP, UST, UP Ateneo, LaSalle, UST, ganyan. Of course, then UANP and the other universities in the country. Ako po ay binenas lang actually. Kasi nung nag-apply po ako sa UST, una bumagsak po ako sa UPCAT. Pangalawa, nung nag-apply po ako sa UST, second choice po ako, nakapasa, waitlisted pa. So kailangan kong pumila ng sobrang haba at sobrang aga on the day when they were accepting waitlisted candidates just so I will be able to secure my slot. So, ganun po yung pressure na nararamdaman natin when we are not probably as intelligent as other people. Kasi po, ang laki ng premium na binibigay ng ating kultura, di ba? When you are smart. But that's why we're here. We're going to unpack that, no? So, our learning roadmap is this. We're going to talk about bakit ba importante i-cultivate yung growth mindset at bakit siya beneficial to us as employees or even to us as students. What are the elements of growth mindset and how can I use and cultivate growth mindset at work? So let's start with the first one para makarami-rami tayo ng ating i-discuss. So bakit pa importante ang growth mindset? So ito yung because of the pandemic and the other factors that are significantly changing externally around us, no? Yung tinatawag natin na VUCA world, yung volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. What happens is, because mas pressured yung mga organizations to compete against one another. Kasi nga, for example, ngayon, economic recession. So dahil economic recession, ang nangyayari is mas konti yung pinaghahati-hatian na pie ng ekonomiya. So competitive yung mga kumpanya or organizations who are currently trying to survive because of the impact of the pandemic. At dahil po ganon, ang nangyayari po is yung mga organizations na yan at yung mga kumpanya na yan, ang focus po karamihan is high performance. Kasi pag hindi nag-perform, yung mga tao or yung mga staff or yung mga resources in the organization, wala silang makukuhang resources din, wala silang ipapasahod, wala silang pwedeng magamit na pera to buy additional resources to sell other products and services. That's why ngayon parang parati tayong pinupush, no? Ramdam na ramdam natin, parati tayong pinupush ng ating mga kumpanya or ng ating mga eskwelahan na mag-perform. Diba? Kahit na bugbog na tayo because of the pandemic. So I want to ask you this question in Mentimeter. So in highly toxic organizations where performance is king, which do you feel the most? So you will receive a link in Mentimeter in the chat box. Tapos answer this question in Menti. Right? So answer this question. So you can also shoot the QR code in the screen. You can also shoot the QR code in the screen. O kaya type menti.com. The code is 99900625. Sige nga. Tingnan natin. Ano, in highly toxic organizations where performance is king, which do you feel the most? Yun bang blaming others or yourself? Kasi minsan parang feeling mo hindi mo na na-achieve yung performance mo, so maninisi ka na lang ng sarili mo or ng ibang tao. Or you feel stuck. Diba? You feel a bit stuck because parang, ano ba ito, hindi ko na alam kung saan ako pupunta. Kasi parang ang dami-daming kailangan gawin. O kaya, sometimes you feel like you just want to quit. Diba? May mga ganyan tayong pakiramdam na ano ba yan? Ang dami-dami nang nangyayari. Sobrang puro pressure na lang. Hindi ako naiintindihan ng boss ko. I just want to get this over with. I just want to quit na. Or baka nagsistruggle ka lang naman. Nagsistruggle ka lang sa work na it's not really that you want to quit, pero you know that hirap na hirap ka kasi ang dami ng mga changes na nangyayari sa trabaho. Or pwede rin naman nawawalan ka na ng purpose and meaning at work. And for the students here, you can take your school as your perspective. Ganun din. Are you losing purpose and meaning at school? Are you struggling at school? Do you feel like you want to quit? Ganyan. Ano yung common na inyong pakiramdam? And again, please feel free to participate in Mentimeter. Nakakatuwa po, 200 na po yung ating tao sa sa Zoom call. So kung meron pa po kayong mga kaibigan na wala dito, feel free to send them the registration link. Okay. So it looks like ang karamihan sa mga responses ng mga tao sa chat box is that feeling that we want to quit. That feeling that we just want to let go of probably the job or what we're doing. Kasi parang sobra na eh. Nakaka-pressure na talaga yung mga ginagawa natin na ini-expect sa atin na high level of performance. And you know what? It's normal. Don't feel that, number one, you don't have to feel that you're alone. Kasi kung nakikita nyo yung dami ng tao who are feeling the same thing, hindi po kayo nag-iisa. Normal po makaramdam ng ganitong emotion, lalo na po na, di ba, sobrang laki ng impact ng pandemya sa ating mga buhay. So, ito pong mga nararamdaman nyo ito, lahat po ito ay valid. Kasi po lahat po ng ito ay pinagdadaanan natin. It's just a matter of ano yung degree or ano yung extent ng impact sa mga buhay natin na yan. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and for answering this Mentimeter question. We will have more of these for you. Ang nangyayari po generally, according to the study of Schwartz, is yung kultura po ng high performance, what it does is it overwhelms employees, it overwhelms students, it drives fear. Yun yung sinasabi niya. So nangyayari is naninisi tayo ng isa't isa. Yung mga binigyan natin choices kanina, those are realities that happen, during times wherein culture of high performance is being intensified, especially now during the pandemic. Pero ang sinasabi ni Tony Schwartz, instead, baka mas maganda kung culture of performance yung ating pinupush dahil nakaka-create siya nitong a lot of negative things na to. It might be better if we shift a little bit to a culture of growth. Kasi ang sinasabi niya, pareho din naman yung effect. If you are focusing on a culture of growth, it will also create a culture of performance. Only that, mas konti yung negative impact or emotions. Yun yung argument ni Tony Schwartz. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on growth, di ba? Ano ba yung growth mindset na tinatawag natin? So simple lang, wag na natin i-komplika. Yung growth mindset is yung paniniwala that our accomplishment is based on our capacity to learn and grow. Yun lang yung growth mindset. Ang sinasabi dito is, meron tayong fixed mindset minsan, di ba? Sinasabi natin na skills and abilities cannot be changed or cannot be developed. Yun yung, kung ano yung binigay sa'yo ng Diyos, yan na yun. 'Diba? Huwag ka nang maghanap ng iba pa, parang ganyan. O kaya, you see the success of others as hindrance to progress. And then, eventually, you avoid challenges. That's an example of fixed mindset. Minsan nakikita mo na pag mas magaling yung iba, baka siraan pa natin sila. Nararamdaman nyo ba yun sa workplace, di ba? Yung mga, medyo may mga crab mentality sa atin. Kasi hindi nila kayang sabayan yung growth. So, ang gagawin ng ibang tao is they will just say something bad. Chichismis nila yung tao na umaangat, gano'n. So, familiar na familiar, di ba? Yung ganyang klaseng estilo. O kaya, sometimes, the fixed mindset is, alam mo yung fear of failure, yung always natin na paniniwala na pag ikaw ay nagkamali, o kaya pag ikaw ay, sabi mo ng nadapa, mahina ka. Yun yung fixed mindset. So, we are limiting ourselves. Growth mindset, on the other hand, is yung paniniwala na skills and abilities can be improved through hard work, training, and perseverance. Kaya yung example ko sa inyo kanina na on the onset, I've known that I have average IQ lang. I've known that I'm not as smart as the others. Hindi ako kasing bilis matuto, hindi ako kasing bilis hindi ako kasing bilis sa math or sa science ng ibang tao, no? pag ina-analyze nila yung mga information. Pero it doesn't mean that I am not able to accomplish things. Kasi wala yung mga talent na yon, or wala yung intelligence na yon, wala yung mga natural inclinations na yon, kung hindi tayo mag-exert ng effort, ng hard work, ng perseverance in order for us to create that accomplishment for us. Diba? Sabi nga ni Joyce, habang may buhay, we are continuously learning through our experiences. And along our journey, we can acquire more skills and knowledge as well as i-develop pa yung skill na meron tayo. So tama, that's what growth mindset is. It's thinking that failures are not seen as setbacks but opportunities to learn. Alam niyo po, the thing about mindset is, mindsets can be fleeting. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Pwedeng ngayon, growth mindset yung naiisip natin, pwedeng mamaya fixed mindset na. Kasi nga mindset siya eh. Mindset is a state of mind. So the way we're going to approach this is, paano ba natin isisimento yung sarili natin doon sa growth mindset para maging habitual siya, para maging natural siya sa atin, right? Para hindi tayo mahirapan na gawin siya araw-araw. Kasi minsan, pag tayo ay nasa-stress or pag tayo ay nakakita ng sobrang hirap na challenge, nagiging fixed mindset tayo kasi yun yung easier way to believe. Yung growth mindset, kailangan mas open-minded ka, kailangan mas malawak yung iyong paniniwala at belief na kaya mong maka-earn ng additional skills at kaya mong ma-develop yung sarili mo. So ang goal natin today is, paano natin mapapalakas yung tendency natin on growth mindset para malimitahan yung possible natin na pag-swing back to fixed mindset once in a while. Kasi totoo naman na pwede tayong bumalik doon sa fixed mindset. Okay. So let me try to show you in the perspective of companies and individuals what growth mindset has created as an impact. So companies who have showcased growth mindset during a global pandemic were limber enough to adapt. Ibig sabihin, sobrang naging mabilis silang mag-adjust, no? Ang bilis nilang mag-fail smart and fail fast. At saka they're able to see setbacks as opportunities. I'll give you some example. So Grab, as an example, ang dami nilang mga paandar, di ba? So Grab, for example, merong Grab Bayanihan na experience nyo to, no? Yung help support our local restaurants. O kaya yung get your daily essentials instantly, yung mga Grab Mart, ganyan. Vaxxed ka na ba? So may panalo ka pag nagpabakuna ka, get a chance to win 250,000 pesos. Alam niyo po, yung Grab sobrang naging essential commodity po siya or service during the pandemic because nga po, it's safer, di ba? So for people who can afford to just keep on using Grab drivers, nakakapagbigay na tayo ng trabaho, at the same time, nakakatulong pa sa safety kasi konti lang yung exposure at exchanges natin. Pero alam niyo po ba na si Grab may mga pagkakamali rin po yan? Kasi nga subok sila ng subok at talagang accept sila ng accept ng challenges. Meron pong time noong 2020 na sinubukan po ni Grab na gumawa ng verification system wherein your face will be used to identify your identity. So yung verification system po na yon, kinall out po yun ng National Privacy Commission. At nagkaroon sila ng back and forth diyan. Pero hindi po huminto si Grab. Tinuloy pa rin po nila yung kanilang growth mindset. Siyempre, sinunod po nila yung National Privacy Commission. Nag-comply sila doon sa mga hinihingi na mga dokumento or mga paliwanag. Pero hindi po sila huminto. Nagtuloy-tuloy po sila. Nagtuloy-tuloy po sila na gumawa ng mga iba-ibang promo. Pag nakita nyo po yung Grab app nyo ngayon, sobrang dami na nilang promo na ginagawa para ma-encourage both yung mga partners at saka yung mga users ng Grab to actually keep on using. Sino dito yung mahilig gumamit ng Grab food tapos gumagamit ng yung code na signatures? Di ba? Di ba may mga ganyan, yung code na signatures o kaya yung code na free delivery. Guilty tayo sa mga ganyan. Sa sobrang dami ng mga promo na binigay nila ngayon, ang dami na pong gumagamit ng Grab at sobrang laki rin po nung naging impact doon sa growth nila. Sinabayan po nila yung growth na yun. Same din po si Shopee. Diba? Same din po sa Shopee. So si Shopee, ganun din, sinabayan din po nila lahat ng mga trends, no? They made a lot of promos, sinabayan nila yung mga 11, 11, 9, 9, ganyan, etc. At alam niyo po ba na meron din po silang mga konting lubak. Sino po dito yung gumagamit ngayon ng Shopee Pay? Sige nga, can you type me in the chat box? Sino po dito yung mga gumagamit ng Shopee Pay? Ayan, tingnan nyo. Diba? Ang bilis. Ang dami natin gumagamit ng Shopee Pay. Alam niyo po ba na yung Shopee Pay, linangaw po yan nung una nilang linabas. Diba? Linangaw yan nung una nilang linabas. Wala pong gumagamit ng Shopee Pay kasi meron na namang mga iba eh. Meron namang may ibang mga options. At saka yung mga tao, takot kasi silang ma-scam doon sa mga online payments noon. So ang nangyari was, linangaw nung first part nung release ng Shopee Pay, yung Shopee Pay. Ano yung ginawa nila para yung mga tao gumamit ng Shopee Pay? Sige nga, tingnan natin sa ating mga audience, yung mga gumagamit ng Shopee Pay dito, ano yung ginawa ni Shopee? Yon, tama, si Mary Janet. Vouchers, cashback, ano pa? Ano pa yung mga ginamit nila? Discounts, di ba? So ang nangyari ngayon kay Grab, may free coins, ang dami talaga, grabe, sobrang mga, tamang-tama yung market natin ngayon ha, talagang Shopee users. Alam niyo po ang nangyari dahil po dyan sa mga sinabi nyo na mga adjustments nila, na mga sinubukan nila, no? Nag-fail sila, nag-succeed sila dun sa mga sinubukan nila. Yung Grab po ngayon, nag-multiply ng 57 times yung kanilang reach because of Shopee Pay. Kasi po sobrang dali na pong gamitin ng Shopee kumpara dun sa before na ang dami-daming mga steps. Diba? Meron pa nga po nag-connect yung mga tao, yung Shopee Pay, kinonect nila sa National Bookstore, sa Gongcha, at saka yung mga iba-ibang mga sobrang daming binibilhan ng mga tao na mga merchants. To the point that they increased by 57 times in terms of size because of this. That's how big an effect growth mindset is. Right? So sana po nakikita nyo na if you see companies that have really high growth mindset, ang dami nilang nagagawa at na-accomplish. At kahit na po ang kanilang priority is the growth, making mistakes, and then learning from them, nagpa-perform pa rin sila ultimately, eventually. So I'm gonna ask you in the chat box, sino ba po sa tingin nyo during the pandemic, yung mga companies na katulad ng Shopee at saka katulad ng Grab, na talaga namang dahil sa growth mindset nila, nag-thrive sila during the pandemic? Can you type in the chat box? Sino yung company na nakita nyo na nag-succeed because talagang ang ganda ng growth mindset? Ayan, tingnan nyo. Food Panda, yes. GCash, di ba? GCash, I think is the only, parang ang tawag doon, double unicorn as far as that status is concerned. GCash talagang nag-flourish kasi ang dami rin nilang sinubukan. Maxim, ayan, ano pa, Zalora, Lazada, right? GCash, ayan, ang galing, di ba? Paymaya, Alibaba. So nag-shine yung mga yun kasi subok sila ng subok. 'Di ba? They prioritize making mistakes, failing fast and failing smart. They kept on learning and learning and learning until they started benefiting from it. Yun po ang ganda ng growth mindset. Kumu rin, di ba? Like, I love it, Marinol. So, si Kumu, sobrang laki ng in-expand tsaka ng TikTok, di ba? So, talagang nag-learn sila from their mistakes. Now, si HP din ganon. So, si HP ang ginawa nila in 2020 was, yung 6,200 managers nila took part in a leadership development program based on growth mindset. Ang outcome nun is 88% of that group felt a sense of belongingness at work. 84% felt that they would recommend HP as a place of work, and employee engagement scores jumped by 22% in just 1 year because of that culture and climate of growth mindset. Imagine that. Pero, syempre po, baka akala natin sa kumpanya lang yan. May mga tao rin po na nagbe-benefit individually sa growth mindset. So let me give you an example. Sino po dito yung nanonood ng OG Diaz channel? Sa mga OGnatics dito. Sige nga po. Sige na, paanuhan na po tayo. Aminan na po tayo. Sino po dito yung mga nanonood ng mga videos ni OG Diaz sa YouTube? Kasi ako po ay nanonood talaga niyan. Alam mo, nakaka-good vibes po kasi. Ayan, tingnan mo, dami, 'di ba? Dami natin na nanonood. Alam niyo po si OG Diaz. Marami hindi ko po siya kilala na tao. Sinundan ko lang po yung storya niya. Kasi nga po nagulat ako na tumalon na po ng 2.64 million yung kanyang subscribers in YouTube at hindi po yun madali. So, kung titingnan niyo po yung YouTube channel ni OG Diaz, nung bago po mag-pandemic, so ang dami pong nangyari sa kanila, di ba? Nag-close yung ABS-CBN, tapos apart from nag-close yung ABS-CBN, syempre, ang dami pong mga projects na na-halt and nahinto during the pandemic. So, ang ginawa nila OG Diaz was they focused on YouTube, on their YouTube channel. Tapos, nung una po, ang nangyayari po doon ang nangyayari po sa sa show nila, ang nanonood siguro mga 50,000 views lang, 100,000 views. Swerte na kung makaapak sila ng 500,000 o kaya pag nakaapak sila ng million. Pero ngayon po, pag tiningnan niyo po yung kanilang mga shows, no? 500,000, 1 million, 400,000, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. Sobrang dami po nilang views. Mahina po yung 1 million sometimes dahil po doon sa level of interest ng mga tao doon sa show. And this is in YouTube already, no? At ang dami nilang ginawa. Subok ng subok si OG Diaz, yung team niya. Subok sila ng subok, ang dami nilang klaseng taong interview, sinubukan nila yung prank, di ba? Nakipag-collab sila sa Bex Battalion, tapos hanggang sa dumating sila sa point na nag-interview ng mga tao based on what happened to them during the pandemic, the celebrities, di ba? At yung mga celebrities na yon, dahil gusto ng tao, dami nating marites dito sa mundo di ba? So dahil natuwa yung mga tao dun sa vulnerabilities ng mga pinapanood nila, lalong dumami yung kanyang following. Di ba? Lalong dumami yung following ni OG Diaz. So yun po yung isang example nung, again, I don't know the extent of like his reach or kung mabuti siyang tao, hindi ko siya kilala as a person. Pero we are observing his case as a product of growth mindset. Okay, as a product of growth mindset. So, ganun po yung nangyari sa kanila. Pinag-aralan nila yung YouTube as an online platform, in-intensify nila, sumubok sila ng iba-ibang mga topics, at pagkasubok nila ng mga iba-ibang mga topics, nagkaroon po sila ng opportunity to start looking for the topics that work very well at talagang pinapatronize ng public kahit po sarado yung ABS-CBN. At they ended up monetizing the YouTube account eventually. So yun. Ayan, nagtaas ng kamay si Jade. Jade, ikaw ba ay may gustong i-share? Can you put it in the chat box para I can unmute you if ever meron kang gustong i-share? Or baka nagkamali ka lang. Let us know para we can help you out. So we would love to hear from people if ever they're willing to volunteer some things. Okay. Ayan. So, it's okay lang ha, don't worry. Like, you can share if you want. We would be glad to unmute you. So, OGDS is an example of growth mindset. Another one is, hindi na kami lalayo, no? So, one of our interns in Positive Workplaces, her name is Andrea Panalican. Si Andrea po ay estudyante pa lang. Siya po ay third-year student na ang kurso niya ay Behavioral Science. Nung nag-intern po siya sa Positive Workplaces, alam niyo naman po, dahil startup company si Positive Workplaces, we don't have a lot of resources. So we don't have allowance for our interns, ganyan. What we can give is we can mentor them directly kasi maliit pa po yung organization. Tapos we can give them projects para po masubukan nila na mag-internship sa isang kumpanya na hindi lang sila pinagtitimpla ng kape or pinag-i-encode ng mga administrative na mga bagay, sila po talaga yung mahawak ng projects. Ang project po ni Andrea sa Positive Workplaces ay yung tinatawag namin na article marketing. So ito po, yung website namin, nagsimula po si Andrea na siya lang po yung nagsusulat ng mga articles. Tapos pinablish po namin yan. Wala po kami dating article sa website. Ngayon po, alam nyo, sobrang dami na po naming articles. Kasi po yung sinimula ni Andrea, marami pong sumunod. Marami pong sumunod na mga interns na gusto rin magsulat. So kung meron po kayong kung mahilig po kayong magbasa ng articles on well-being, pwede po kayong magpunta dyan sa website at basahin niyo po yung mga articles na sinulat po ng aming mga teammates. Just in case meron po kayo interested. Yan po yung isang story na nag-come out kay Andrea because of her growth mindset, because she was not afraid of failing, because she was not afraid to learn, and she was able to create that as a project for us. She was the originator of the articles page of Positive Workplaces. At ito po ang nangyari sa kanya ngayon. Si Andrea po is still an undergraduate. Pero pag tiningnan niyo po yung mga nai-interview niya ng mga tao, ayan po, in-interview niya po si John Cho. Seryoso po ito. Si Mustafa Shakir, Daniela Pineda. Based on, at nagsulat po siya ng article sa CNN Philippines Live. Pati po yung cast ng sex education sa Netflix, na interview po ni Andrea yan, para magkaroon po siya, ay makapagsulat po sila ng promotion. And all of that because she was not afraid to try things out and fail and learn and get feedback and learn some more and then do all of these things. Ulitin ko lang po, Andrea is an undergraduate pa. She is graduating next year. That's how amazing growth mindset can bring to the lives of people, not just as organizations, but also as individuals. So our argument here is that growth mindset is an amazing competitive advantage. In a world that's very competitive for companies and that's very competitive for individuals, yung growth mindset po, sobrang gandang advantage niyan para sa atin. At kaya po ganon is because yung growth mindset helps develop positive cultures. Cultures like compassion, resilience, inspiration, and psychological safety, which eventually bring out the best in the individuals in workplaces. Right? Pag may growth mindset po kasi tayo, mas less yung fear natin doon sa mga sasabihin ng iba kasi titingnan parati natin siya as an opportunity to learn. Right? So yun po yung ating argument kung gaano po ka-importante ang growth mindset either in the workplace or in school. Okay? So ngayon po, hukayin natin kung ano yung components ng growth mindset. Pinasimple po natin yung components ng growth mindset para po sa ating lahat. No? Ano ba yung elements niya? Ginawa natin siya na acronym. So, let's help each other grow. Yun yung ating acronym. No? So, ito ang inyong very, very important na matutunan today. The first one is, always go for a challenge. Okay, always go for a challenge. The second is revisit your effort to learn. That's the R. So, the O is own your failures. And the W is want more feedback. So, iisa-isahin po natin ito. Iisa-isahin natin ang discussion nito. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng go for a challenge? The right challenges in life give us a sense of purpose and excitement. Yun po yung maganda. Ano po sa tingin nyo yung pangarap or challenge ni Oprah Winfrey? Si Oprah Winfrey po grew up from a poor family. She was molested by 2 family members and like 1 family friend. She eventually parang had to give birth at the age of, if I'm not mistaken, at the age of 14 yata or 16. And then that birth, she miscarried. The child died. So medyo rough yung kanyang pinagdaanan. Ano po sa tingin nyo? Can you put in the chat box? Ano po sa tingin nyo yung pangarap or yung challenge na binigay ni Oprah Winfrey sa sarili niya? Sa mga fans ni Oprah dito, ano sa tingin nyo yung challenge na binigay niya sa sarili niya? Sige nga, can you give a guess in the chat box? Kilala niyo naman siguro si Oprah Winfrey. Nakakatakot, baka mamaya ako na lang pala yung matanda dito na nakakilala kay Oprah Winfrey. So sabi ni Marie, it's education. Yes, that's one of the challenges, no? Like Oprah Winfrey wanted to show na like she can get education even if they didn't have the money. Eventually, she was able to get a scholarship. But that's just one of the smaller challenges that she had. Not blaming herself for what happened. Ano pa? Bashers. Ano sa tingin niyo yung dream niya? Ano yung dream ni Oprah Winfrey? To get out of poverty, malapit na. Being courageous, right? When you grow up in a poor place, people around you would mostly say that this is already the best you can do. Like there is no way out anymore. Yeah, that's an example of a challenge. Oprah's dream that she was telling her father all that time was she wants a house on top of a hill. Okay, she wants a house on top of a hill. And the second dream that she had was she wanted to become a millionaire. Yun yung kanyang dream, di ba? So we all know what happened to Oprah. Like she's one of the richest women in the world. And baka hindi lang isa yung houses niya on a hill. So she had those dreams, di ba? I wanted the house on the hill. I wanted to be a millionaire. And that was, for her, that was just a dream. Pero eventually, because she was such a hard worker and she was so resilient, she was able to achieve all of them. Not just achieve, no? Actually, sobrang lagpas pa yung kanyang nagawa. So that's one example. Another example is Manny Pacquiao. Ito siguro, let's strip our minds muna from the politics. Kasi I know that like Manny Pacquiao doesn't exactly have the best reputation, or maybe for some people he does. So maybe we can remove the politics aside. Ano sa tingin nyo yung dream ni Manny Pacquiao? Sige nga. Ano sa tingin nyo yung dream ni Manny Pacquiao? Ano yung challenge that he wanted to achieve, or the challenge that he wanted to overcome for himself or for his family? Ano yung sa tingin yung dream niya? Anyway, you can put in the chat box. Yung mga fans dito. Ayan, so an example is he wanted to become a champion. So along the way, naging kasama yun sa mga pangarap niya. Ayun, very good. I saw it na. Vic Calam. Yeah, si Vic Calam. He wanted to be free from poverty. That was his dream. Actually, not just himself, his family also. Kasi alam niyo naman si Manny Pacquiao, di ba? Like, raised by a single mom. So, raised by a single mom. Tapos, I think, not sure if 4 or 6 yata yung kanyang mga kapatid. Tapos, he started working already at a very young age, di ba? He went to Manila at the age of 14 para maging parang stevedore sa mga ports. And eventually, he started to read a lot of things. He started to learn about how we can get money hanggang sa napunta siya sa boxing. And yung boxing na yun, talagang pinag-aralan niya yung expertise na required, no? Sinalihan niya lahat at ang dami niyang mga like pitfalls, ang dami niyang mga failures, ganyan and everything. But eventually, he became one of the most financially rewarded and probably one of the best athletes of all time. And he also provided the country pride because of that. So can you imagine the growth mindset that a person can have? Hindi mo naman, si Manny Pacquiao hindi nakapag-aral, di ba? Noong time na yon. Kailan lang naman siya nag-aral? Recently lang. Pero noon talagang, dahil wala silang resources, he did that. He did a lot of those things. Diba? Another example for musicians. Ano sa tingin niyo yung dream ni Ed Sheeran? Sige nga, kilala niyo si Ed Sheeran, di ba? Ano sa tingin niyo yung dream ni Ed Sheeran? Can you put it in the chat box? Sobrang simple ng dream nitong tao na to. Like Ed Sheeran right now is is a millionaire, di ba? So to be famous, sige pa, to produce music, ano pa, sige. What do you think was his dream? To be an actor? What else? Ed Sheeran's dream to be a good father, to be a famous performer, to have a positive attitude, to be a successful singer. Okay, yung singing was his pathway for his dream. Alam niyo si Ed Sheeran, parang there was a point where he was sleeping in trains or in train stations because he had to play music there to kiss Hermione Granger. Pwede. So there was a time when alam mo yung mga singer-songwriters who will really sleep on streets tapos magbabask lang sila just in order for them to get a few money, to be able to help them get to their day-to-day. Si Ed Sheeran, one of the dreams that I read about him was he wanted to have a pub. As in, he wanted to have a pub. Yun yung kanyang pangarap. Yun yung challenge that he wanted for himself. Gusto ko magkaroon ng pub. Kasi pag may sarili siyang pub, makakakanta siya doon. Makakakanta siya doon sa pub na yun, and he can do it regularly as much as he wants. Ed Sheeran can buy a lot of pubs right now with his money. And he is one of the most recognizable voices, male voices of all time. Ganun yung accomplishment na gawa niya. Kasi yung challenge niya, yung going niya for a challenge which is having a pub for himself or having a pub for his dream, he was able to go beyond that. So, ano yung lesson here? Go for a challenge. Go for a challenge. What happens is, yung challenges na tinatanggap natin sa ating mga buhay, ang laki ng connection niyan sa atin. Kasi meron silang personal na meaning to what we really want in our lives. So, let's try to do this exercise. No? The power of yet. According to Carol Dweck, pag daw tumitingin tayo sa mga challenges, wag nating kalimutan yung word na yet. Okay, wag nating kalimutan yung word na yet. So, for example, I don't understand this concept yet. So, ito yung parang fixed mindset converting to growth mindset. Ano pa? I don't know how to do trainings online. Like ako, before, I didn't know how to do trainings online. Yet. I didn't know it yet. Diba? Ano pa? I don't know how to lead a team. Maybe not yet. Right? So si Ed Sheeran, I don't have a pub. Not yet. Diba? During that time. He didn't have a pub yet. So si Oprah, I don't have $1 million or I don't have a house on the hill yet. Okay? I don't have it yet. Si Manny Pacquiao, I don't want, ang hirap nung kay Manny Pacquiao kasi like escaping from poverty. I don't have enough money to support my family yet. When you insert yet in some of your fixed mindset statements, it makes it so powerful because your mind starts to believe that it's only a matter of time. Of course, and the effort. Diba? So I want us to dream a little bit today. Can you go to Mentimeter and can you write a yet statement about a dream or a challenge that you are very passionate about? Katulad ng mga example na sinabi natin kanina. Okay, go back to Mentimeter, 'di ba? Like for example, ako in positive workplaces, our vision statement is we want to create a nation of positive organizations. So maybe my statement here is, we do not have a nation of positive organizations yet. Okay? So you can use the old link in Menti and you write something that you're very passionate about and then put the yet on the end. Katulad nito, someone wrote here, I don't have my own place yet. I'm not a licensed teacher yet. Oh, I don't have a jowa yet. Huwag ka magkalala, hindi ka nag-iisa. Meron akong mga teammates dito na naghahanap din. Baka kayo na. I can't buy my own house yet. I don't know how to write a proposal yet. I don't have a PhD yet. I'm not a New York Times best-selling author yet. Pwede niyo po bang isulat ito sa isang piece of paper na meron kayo dyan sa inyo with you right now? Isulat nyo lang to just for fun. Okay, just for, just for the sake of it. Isulat nyo lang, I'm not a licensed teacher yet. I don't have six-pack abs yet. Sulat nyo lang yan. Kasi ilan tayo dito sa room? We are around 250 people in the room. And kahit po 10 tao lang, yung eventually ma-achieve nila yung pangarap nila through the statements that you are mentioning here right now in front of us. Napakalaking bagay na po yun. Kasi ibig po sabihin, may mga buhay na nabago. So, I'm not fluent in another language yet. I don't own my own business yet. I don't have much confidence on myself yet. Grabe, nakaka-touch tong mga sinusulat nyo. I still don't know the steps to become a clinical psychologist yet. I don't have $1 million yet. I do not have speaking opportunities yet. Diba? I'm not a human resource practitioner yet. I can't buy a house for my family yet. Right? Diba ang sarap-sarap mapakinggan kasi we are not limiting ourselves. We are not stopping at the limitations or the non-existence of achieving a certain challenge. What we are doing is we are manifesting it to the world and we are telling the universe, we don't have it yet. But ibig sabihin doon, eventually, we could. So that is an example of challenging ourselves. Go for a challenge. Yun yung G doon sa grow. Go for a challenge. Diba? I don't have money yet. I don't have opportunity to study abroad yet. Alam nyo, itong opportunity to study abroad yet, nasulat ko na yan before. Hindi naman magaganda yung mga grades ko sa school. Ang hirap mag-apply sa scholarship. Ilan ang nag-a-apply sa scholarship usually in terms of batches? In our batch, 3,500 yung nag-apply. 1,000 plus yung complete documents. Ilan kaming nakuha? 70. Batch namin. 30. Yung batch namin mismo, 30 lang yung nakaalis. Yung nakapasa na final scholarship. So before then, during that time, yun yung yet ko. I didn't have the opportunity to study abroad yet. But I tried. Diba? I tried. I did a lot of things in order for me to be able to get it. So, maraming salamat for indulging this exercise. I hope you wrote this down. I'm not a CPA yet. I'm not rich yet. I'm not promoted yet. And in the future, 5 years, 10 years down the road, remember me, remember this session, and send me a message. John, mayaman na ako. Okay, John, may jowa na ako. John, architect na ako. John, teacher na ako. Please, I will be very happy to receive a message from you if makita ko na architect na kayo, accountant na kayo, may trabaho na kayo, clinical psychologist na kayo. Because that is the power of yet. Right? Declare. Yun naman talaga. Declare. So that's our first one. Okay? The very simple and powerful activity, sabi nga ni Pauline, the power of yet. So go for a challenge. Meron akong isang director kahapon ng Civil Service Commission in one of our learning sessions. Ang sabi niya, minsan ang mahirap sa mga Pilipino, sobrang tipid natin sa pangarap. Sobrang kumapit sa akin yung statement niya. Sabi ko, nga no? Ang tipid nga natin sa pangarap, hindi nga natin masyadong dinedeclare yung mga dreams natin. Pero pag nakita nyo ngayon, di ba, sobrang powerful and potent nung pare-pareho tayong nag-declare ng dreams natin in one session. and it feels like there's so much hope. So go for a challenge. Go for a challenge. Kasi when you go for a challenge and it's personally connected to what you're passionate about, it gives you that sense. It gives you that sense of connection and purpose to the challenge that you're setting for yourself. Okay? So yun yung unang letter ng growth mindset. Ano yung second letter? Revisit your effort to learn. Okay? Revisit your effort to learn. So what do I mean by this? The key to cultivating a growth mindset is becoming a lifelong learner. Diba? So being intentional about your time spent on upskilling and reskilling, innovating, trying new things, investing some personal resources into learning. So I want to show you a sample of this. So I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable here because this is me trying to learn how to play the keyboards. Okay, so the left one is 2017. So this is me 2017. So I want to show you a comparison of the way I was playing in 2017 and the way I am playing now. And I want you to let me know what is the difference that you see. So I'll play the 2017 version very quickly.
How many times did I pray you'll find me? How many wishes on a star, gazing up into the dark, dreaming I see your face, sailing home unafraid, captured in your embrace. So many times when my heart was broken, visions of you would keep me strong. You were with me all along, guiding my every step. You were all that I am, and I'll never forget. It was you who first believed in all that I was made to be. It was you looking in my eyes. You held my hand and showed me life, and I've never been the same since you first believed.
So that one, in 2017, that was, ilan taon na ako noon? 30, ano ba yun? 2021. So 38, siguro mga 34 years old ako niyan or 35 years old ako noong 2017. So I was playing that. I just bought the piano, tapos one of my friends taught me how to play the chords, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko sa sarili ko, alam mo nakakatuwa if marunong ka mag-play ng instrument, tapos kasama mo yung mga kabarkada mo or yung mga friends mo, di ba parang sobrang good vibes that you're able to enjoy the music together. Especially pag Filipinos, di ba, we love videoke, we love being able to sing together as a group. And that also happens sometimes in trainings, no? Like sometimes we enjoy the companionship of others. So I want to show you how I can play right now. So I think this was last Sunday. So listen, and I want you to share the difference that you saw in the chat box. Okay? Isabihin niyo sa chat box, ano yung mga nakita yung difference from 2017 and this one?
Lipstick stain on the front lobe of the left side.
Ayan, alright. So, pag tingnan nyo yung mga responses doon sa chat box, no? Ang common responses that we're seeing, una, thank you so much. Like, you're so kind. Talagang puro positive yung mga binigay nyo ng mga comments. So, alam niyo po, ang layo ko pa po sa pagiging master po talaga. Like, hindi pa po ako masyadong, hindi ko alam yung melody. Ngayon po, kinakapa ko lang po kung ano yung tama doon sa chords. Pero nakita niyo yung main difference, di ba? Like, nakita niyo po, like someone was saying confidence was very high. The determination, the passion, the emotions are there. Meron pa pong nagsabi dito na technical eh. Yung shifting from chords, hindi ko po alam kung ano yung ibig sabihin nun. Kasi po hindi nga po ako formally trained. Pero at least nakikita nyo na po, di ba? Yung difference from before to now. And I wanted to share that with you because this is a product of so many mistakes. And I actually dedicated a specific time of the day to be able to play something. Minimum of 30 minutes po sa isang araw. The reason po, katabi ko na rin yung keyboard, even before, minimum of 30 minutes, I have to play something. Kasi po, mas nagkakaroon po ng muscle memory and stronger connection yung neurons natin once we get used to certain activities, especially if we're very passionate about it. So one hack here is dedicate a specific time of your day on something that you're very passionate about, that you want to learn in relation to the challenge that you have posed for yourself. Kasi pag hindi tayo nag-dedicate ng specific time of the day for it, pwedeng makaligtaan natin, makalimutan natin. Yung nagsabi dito na gusto niyo ng six-pack abs, dedicate a specific time of the day. Yung gusto niyo rito na makakuha ng licensure for teachers or CPA, dedicate a specific time of the day, diba? So, dedicate a specific time of the day for your learning efforts and practice. Gary. So, ano pa? Another one is invest personal resources on your growth. Alam niyo po, yung pagkuha ko ng MBA, well, I funded it. I partly funded it. Part of it was funded by my organization. When I had my Australia Awards scholarship, of course, Australia Awards funded it. Pero I had to quit my job. So my regular job, I was already earning good money from it. Like I was already earning 6 digits. It was a very stable role. It was a great company. I've been there for almost a decade. But I gave it up because I needed to take a risk, diba, and grow. So I took the chance and got the scholarship from Australia Awards. And alam niyo po ba, just as a coincidence, today po, December 8th, 2 years ago, was the same day that Positive Workplaces was conceived. Kasi when I invested in myself, so that I will be able to join the Australia Awards Scholarship cohort, si Nikki, the co-founder of Positive Workplaces, also invested on herself. And she was part of that Australia Awards cohort. So she also, in the same batch, we met. We started aligning on values. We started aligning. And ito pong trip na to Wilson's Promontory, one of the greatest spots in Melbourne. Dyan po kami nag-brainstorm kung ano yung gagawin namin organization. And now, it's Positive Workplaces. So invest on yourself. Invest personal resources on yourself. That's one of the ways by which you can also have growth mindset. Kasi para lang po yung sugal, no? When you are more personally when you invested on something, minsan ang hirap pakawalan no ininvest mo kasi ayaw mong masayang yung inyong effort or yung inyong resources na binigay. So, kung wala ka namang i-invest, napakadali pong hindi ituloy. 'Di ba? Napakadaling huminto na lang at some point kasi wala ka namang investment eh. So, nung nag-MBA po ako, may investment na po ako doon. Alam niyo po, ayoko po ng math. Dami pong tao dito alam ko ayaw ng math eh. Pero ang math subjects po namin sa MBA ay 8. Statistics, economics, finance, strategic finance, mga ganyan. Tapos management science, 8 po. At ang hirap po talaga nila. Pero nagbayad ako eh. Nagbayad ako at mahal po yun, like 26,000 to 30,000 per term. So, pag nag-invest ka personally on it, ang hirap bitawan. Diba? Ang hirap bitawan. So that's one of the things that you could also do. Diba? Dedicate a specific time of your day on what you want to learn in relation to your challenge and then invest time. And what I want to ask you is this. So you can go back to Mentimeter, no? In relation to your dream, yung yet natin kanina, ano yung specific learning commitment that you think you can give para naman magkaroon ng effort, para lumakas yung effort mo doon sa challenge or dream na binigay mo sa sarili mo? Can you go to Mentimeter again? Tapos, be very specific. It doesn't have to be sobrang laki kaagad. It can just be hours in a day. It can just be that you're going to look for a mentor or you're going to look for someone who will teach you. But ano sa tingin nyo? Ano sa tingin nyo yung i-exert nyo na specific na effort? Ano yung, like for example, ito, work for it. What specific work are you going to put in terms of learning? Yan, sabi, make time to review no matter how busy I am. Sige pa, i-specify mo pa. Ano pa yung pwedeng way na mas specific to para talaga mas maging tangible siya? Time management and trust God for His great plan, yes. Listening to lectures in class and attending webinars, seminars. Attend reviews to pass the boards, yes. What else? I usually attend webinars related to HR and well-being. Very good, yes, yan. Yan talaga mag-allot ka ng time, di ba? Watch my calories, move more, be mindful. Expose myself to psychological articles. Yes, definitely. Like baka ito si clinical psychologist na na aspirant. Look for free e-learning courses so I can have more qualifications for part-time jobs. Alam mo, totoo to, hinahanap pa rin ito ng mga tao na nag-i-interview for jobs. Kasi pag ako, for example ako as an interviewer, gusto ko yung tao na mahilig mag-aral or mahilig matuto. So yung tinitingnan ko yung mga, ang dami sigurong inattendan nito ng mga webinars or ng mga courses in Udemy. Tapos pag sa interview, tatanungin ko kung ano yung natutunan niya. Kasi minsan naman, may mga tao na uma-attend pero para lang sa certificate. Pero hindi sila uma-attend para doon sa learning. So you double check also kung totoo bang natututo tayo. Reading more references and attending workshops, time management, always trust in God, give time on reading, minimize expenses to increase on savings. Yes. Ayan, ito ang example ng sobrang specific ha. At least 30 minutes of exercise per day. That is an example of how specific and how tangible things are. Have an insurance and save money. Ibig sabihin, bumili ka ng insurance para meron kang direct na savings sa agad. So that is also a tangible action. Ano pa? Look for opportunities to practice new language. Ayan, plot my schedules and activities every week. Hit the gym at least 3 times a week. Right? Again, the learning here is the more specific the investment you are making and the effort you are making, and the closer it is to your challenge, the less likely you will not do it. Okay? So, binibigyan natin kayo ng mas malakas na opportunity to be able to stick to your challenge with your learning effort para po yung learning effort nyo mag-translate into an accomplishment. Ayun no, join essay competitions, right? Say yes to a speaking opportunity and learn more while waiting. Alam mo, mag-message ka sa akin, baka matulungan ka namin. Kung if you want speaking opportunities, you can probably be one of the possible speakers in our webinars in the future, just like this one, diba? Conduct more information, then practice time management. Give yourself 30 minutes of reading per day, diba? Work for it, attend more seminars and events. Yeah, thank you so much for your responses. Sana po na isusulat niyo rin po ito dun sa inyong mga notebook para po ma-save niyo po talaga yung mga efforts natin. So yun po, yung ating R, no? Revisit your effort to learn. The more specific the effort, the closer it is to the challenge, the stronger the habit can become. Okay? The stronger the habit can become. What we're trying to form here are beliefs and habit para mas mabilis nating ma-incorporate sa ating mga buhay. So, ano yung sunod? Owning our failures. So I want to ask you, why do you think we are afraid to fail? Can you go back to Mentimeter and answer this question? So multiple choice. Dapat multiple choice to. Wala, hindi pumasok. Hindi pumasok. Sige, chat box na lang. Why do you think people are afraid to fail? Sige nga. Why do you think people are... Ikaw, bakit ka... Yon. Perfect example. Nakakatawa. Ang daming judgers. Ang daming judgers. Nakakahiya. We don't want to be blamed. Judgment, criticisms, expectations, disappointments, consequence, pressure. Being stuck there. Right? So yan. O kaya ma-brand. Di ba? Meron tayong mga ganun. Yung, paano kung ma-brand ako as a failure? Di ba? You give efforts, then just failed. O kaya nakaka-disappoint kasi nag-effort ka nga naman, tapos biglang bumagsak ka, di ba? Etc. Disappointment the people I love, correct? Disappointing people you love, that's also an important thing. Right? Yes, so a lot of those are bullying even. Bullying is another possible repercussion of failure, di ba? So, failures, I'm gonna share this very important acronym to you. May isang acronym dito na talagang pinapaulit-ulit namin. Fail daw is what we call first attempt in learning. Okay? First attempt in learning. So failing is your chance to learn and grow. Owning your failures and conquering them. Napansin nyo na generally mas nag-grow ang tao pag nag-fail. 'Di ba? Pag nagkamali, kunyari, pag nagkamali yung tao, mas nagkakaroon tayo ng opportunity to grow. Bakit ba tayo afraid na mag-fail? Kasi ang weird ng paradox na yon eh. Afraid yung mga tao mag-fail, pero yun yung pinakamalaking source of learning. 'Di ba? Parang dapat hand in hand sila. Bakit ganun? Ang sabi ng study na nabasa ko kanina ko lang binasa. Sabi ng study na binasa ko kanina is, a lot of people are afraid to fail because of relationships around them. Yung mga minention nyo kanina, no? Judgment, being branded, being bullied. So nanggagaling pala yung fear of failure dahil sa mga tao sa paligid natin. So ibig sabihin na if failure is a good source of learning, gaganda lang yung source ng learning na yon if we will create a safe space for people so that they will not be afraid to fail and learn. So nasa atin din yung kasagutan. Mag-self-check tayo minsan. Pag nag-fail ba yung kasama mo, yung kamag-anak mo, yung kapatid mo, yung ka-office mate mo, yung staff mo, yung boss mo, pag nag-fail ba sila, ano yung reaction mo kaagad? Bigyan ko kayo ng magandang example, no? Minsan yung mga boss natin, ako may boss pa ako dati, tas meron siyang mistake. Kunyari meron siyang ginawa na iba dun sa sinabi niya. Tinitingnan ko yon as a staff, as a failure, tapos ichichika ko sa mga ibang mga colleagues ko. Sasabihin ko na, kala ko ba sabi niya ganito, bakit ngayon yun yung ginagawa niya? Ano ba naman yan? Ang gulo-gulo. Ako yun staff ako, di ba? Gina-judge ko yung boss ko. Chinika ko pa siya sa ibang tao. Can you imagine the type of negative culture that creates? Bakit magiging open sa akin yung boss ko sa failure niya? Kung ako, as a staff, gina-judge ko na kaagad siya doon sa kanyang mga pagkakamali. Same din pabalik. Pag kunyari naman yung boss ko, pag nakita yung failure, ang unang sinasabi sa akin is, ano ba yan? Paulit-ulit na lang yung pagkakamali mo. O kaya ano ba yan? Nagkamali ka naman. Ang simple-simple nito. Di ba? Ganyan yung common na naririnig natin. Ang simple-simple bagay, nagkakamali na to. Tanga-tanga ka ba? So ang sakit makaranig ng mga ganon, di ba? So sa atin nanggagaling. Sa atin nanggagaling yung reason kung bakit natatakot yung mga taong magkamali. So para makatulong tayo doon sa environment na yon, let's try to start from ourselves. Are we creating a safe space for people to fail? So I will share with you some tips, some hacks. And I want you to know, siguro, let's start with belief. Let's start with belief that failing is okay. Kilala niyo, you're familiar naman with Huffington Post, di ba? So this is one of the biggest publications the world has ever known. So Huffington Post, si Ariana Huffington, 36 times siyang na-reject ng mga publishers. Imagine yung failure na yun, 36 times, di ba? Si Bill Gates, when he was starting his company, had to watch his first company crumble. Si Walt Disney, nasabihan siya that he lacked creativity. Di ba? Walt Disney is probably the most creative person that has ever lived. Tapos sinabihan siya dati na, ano ba yan, konti yung creativity mo. So that's another example of a failure also. No? Dami nilang sinubukan yan nila Walt Disney. Steve Jobs. Hindi ko alam kung alam nyo to. Steve Jobs started Apple. But eventually he was fired by Apple, by his own company when he was 30 because his board of directors decided to let him go. But eventually, of course, they wanted him back na. So people, the belief in failing is very important. Dapat kailangan yung paniniwala natin na okay lang mag-fail basta may matutunan ka, di ba? So ito yung mga examples na. So an example of a hack is what we call a failure log. So ano ba yung failure log? Meron tayong tinatawag na screw-ups, weaknesses, and growth opportunities. I-log nyo yun lahat. Ano ba yung insight nyo doon? For example, this is Nikki's failure log. Merong time na nasa Zoom call na kami, tapos hindi makapasok yung mga ibang mga attendees ng call. Kasi 100 lang yung kayang i-accommodate ng Zoom subscription. Nakalimutan ni Nikki na i-upgrade. So she forgot to upgrade the Zoom room. So ano yun? Is that a screw up, a weakness, or a growth opportunity? It's a screw up. A screw up is simple things that you usually get right, but sometimes you forget. Alam mo yun, kaya mo naman siya nagagawa mo siya consistently yung tama, minsan nakakalimutan. So that is an example of a screw up. So anong ginawa niya? Keep a to-do list. Write important action steps in my calendar to remind her. Kasi kaya niyang gawin, kailangan niya lang ma-remind. So that's a simple screw up. Ano naman yung growth opportunity? Alam mo yung cause, kaya mong i-fix. So, minsan si Nikki, nagbebenta rin yan ng trainings sa mga kliyente. Pag minsan hindi niya na-win yung account, ano yung gagawin niya? Improve yung kanyang verbal marketing skills, ganyan, o kaya negotiation skills para mas magaling para mas gumaling siya na maging mag-close ng mga sales. Another example is yung records, may mga times na hindi complete. So that's a weakness. Things that regularly happen and could be improved. Anong ginawa niya? Mag-hire na tayo dyan ng admin support. Kasi it regularly happens and it's not my area of specialization. So maybe it's something that we can, buy from somewhere. So this is an example of a failure log. And ang maganda rito is the focus is on the insight, not on the failure. You assume that failures will happen, but the focus is on the insight. What can you do once you know if it's a screw up, a weakness, or growth opportunities? Okay? May question daw si Joshua. Sabi niya, tanong po ito ng preliminary interview sa Miss Universe Philippines. If we truly learn from our mistakes, would you advise a young person to keep making it? Wow, ang hirap nito . Ako, I will advise them to, yes, keep on doing it. Kasi sometimes you don't attain mastery in just one pass. Okay? Like for example, starting up a company. We kept on making a mistake on what type of trainings to sell when we were starting Positive Workplaces. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we're not. But the mastery takes time. So pwedeng natututo ka na, kumbaga pwedeng nabubuo mo na yung conscious competence, pero hindi pa siya unconscious competence. Wala ka pa dun sa autopilot, wala ka pa sa mastery stage. So my suggestion is you just keep on doing it. Keep on, even if you have to make the same mistakes, if it's very important to you, just keep on trying to learn in relation to that. Kasi Kung mastery yung gusto mong ma-attain, tapos wala ka pa doon, then the mistakes will help you get towards the mastery. Basta nandun din yung equivalent effort. Diba? So, maraming salamat, Joshua. Thank you very much for that very wonderful question. My second example is this. Yan. Ang sarap-sarap makakita ng daily wins journal. So for example, ito, we're using a tool called Notion. Notion is free. So sana po makatulong sa inyo to. So yung Notion, sobrang daming listahan ito. Like pwede kang gumawa ng sobrang daming listahan from task list, from task list to other examples like kunyari gusto mo ng sales. Merong sales list dito. Meron kang leads, qualified, proposal, negotiation, i-encode mo lang doon sa Notion. So ang ginawa ko dito sa Notion is I made a daily wins journal. So a daily wins journal is something that looks like this. I write what I'm grateful for because they are wins. Okay? What happens is sometimes the gratitude balances the failures. Sometimes the gratitude balances the failures. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng failures lang yung parati mong makikita. Makukulangan ka sa dopamine or oxytocin feels. Kailangan magkaroon ka rin ng positive emotions through wins. So look for ways to be able to get them. And an example of that is a daily wins journal. Okay? So those are examples of things that you can do in order for you to own your failures. Believe that failing is normal. So the first one is, check mo muna yung sarili mo, di ba? Kung nagko-contribute ka ba sa safe space for people to fail, para if not, then you try to regulate yourself so that other people will feel safe failing around you. Second is, start a failure log, then create daily wins log. It's very easy. It just takes me 5 minutes to write. Pero when you see the whole thing and when you read back, it's so nice because it feels very fulfilling. You even see your accomplishments. Okay? Last letter. Okay, last letter. Want more feedback. Okay? Ang sinasabi dito sa study is, feedback intensifies learning. 93% of employees say feedback helps improve performance. 43% of highly engaged employees receive feedback. 20% of adult learning comes from peer learning. But the question is, why do you think people are scared of feedback? Can you go to Mentimeter? Ayan, nandito na yan. Nakita ko na yan. Ay. Yan. Why do you think we are scared of feedback? Is it because of other people's judgment? Is it because of feeling of failure? Is it because of denial? Is it because of tangible consequences of the feedback? Is it because of fear of uncertainty? Ano tingin mo? Why do you think we are scared of receiving? Why are you afraid of receiving feedback? Kasi ang dami-dami sa atin na natututo talaga sila sa feedback pero takot naman silang tumanggap, 'di ba? Takot naman silang maka-receive ng criticisms, ganyan and all. So, ano sa tingin niyo reason why are we scared of receiving feedback? Okay, very good. So, we are scared of receiving feedback a lot of times because of other people's judgment. Okay, because of other people's judgment. So, same thing as failure. Same thing as failure. So, ano yung gagawin natin in relation to this? The explanation to this is that the reason why people are afraid of feedback is because biologically, we are wired to survive. We are wired to react whenever we see threat. So the solution, the direct solution is we try to create an environment wherein people feel that feedback is not threatening. Okay? Ganun lang kasimple. So this is an example of that. At screen grab nyo to kasi hindi natin to i-discuss thoroughly. So when you are giving and receiving feedback, you can use some of these tips. Number one is assume the good. O kaya if you can't assume the good in the feedback, you try to look for someone who you trust will give you feedback na walang halong judgment. Okay? And then you can also listen to understand instead of listen to respond. Kasi karamihan sa atin na nakikinig tayo para makipagdebate, alam mo yun. So listen to understand, not to respond. You only respond to clarify. Na-gets ko ba kung ano talaga yung sinasabi mo? Okay? And then accept possible agreements and disagreements kasi it happens. And then always convey appreciation. So these for me works wonders. As in, itong mga tips na to works wonders. So I hope you find it helpful. But the other thing that I find most useful is this. Seek the right people to get feedback from. So, itong matrix na to, hindi na natin siya gagawin kasi kulang na tayo sa oras. The idea behind this is meron tayong mga tinatawag na cheerleaders, meron tayong mga tinatawag na the great boss, meron tayong mga tinatawag na the poor boss, and meron tayong mga tinatawag na the taskmaster. So itong mga apat na to are people that we generally get feedback from. So it's a cross between praise and criticism. My challenge to you, and we don't have to answer this right now, my challenge to you is look for all of these people in your life. Balansehin nyo. Hanapin nyo. Sino yung cheerleader nyo? Meron ba kayong cheerleader? Meron ba kayong great boss? Meron ba kayong taskmaster? Meron ba kayong poor boss? Hanapin nyo sila. Lahat sila may value. Hindi ko na di-discuss ngayon kung ano, pero just try it out. The challenge is try to look for sino yung cheerleader nyo, sino yung great boss, sino yung poor boss, at sino yung taskmaster. And these are the people that you can entrust with your feedback, with receiving feedback. Some of these people are your mentors. Okay? So yeah. So those are the four things that comprises growth mindset. So ang objective natin dito is mapa-intensify yung belief that you have growth mindset rather than fixed mindset. And if you try some of the activities that we shared, these activities will actually be able to help you. Kasi yung GROW na yan yung pinaniniwalaan nila Carol Dweck na mga reasons why growth mindset exists, which is that challenge, effort, failures, and feedback. Yun yung apat na very, very important natin maalala whenever we want to continue having growth mindset. All right? So at this point, siguro I guess like I will leave you with this quote, no? No matter what your ability is, okay? Effort is what ignites that ability and turns it into accomplishment. You know, in my life, I've known so many people who became our, for example, salutatorian, valedictorian, ganyan, o kaya like some of the people that I know who really excelled academically. Tapos for some reason, they stopped. And when I was checking why, it was probably because during that time, the priority was for them to perform but not to grow. So ang nangyari was naipit sila doon sa fixed mindset. And a lot of people who didn't do well in school, nagkaroon ng sobrang daming accomplishments and happiness more than some of the people I know who did academically well. So that's a good message from Carol Dweck, no? The effort is what ignites that ability and turns it into accomplishment. So I hope you found this content very helpful to you. Maybe we can spend some time with some questions in Mentimeter. So I can open the floor to questions. Wait. No. There you go. So you can go to the same Menti link. Tapos just ask. Baka may mga clarifications kayo. We can use the time to ask questions. So while you are asking questions or while you're thinking about questions, some of our updates lang for positive workplaces is we're building a very strong community of positive leaders in a Facebook group. So for those who want to join, we call it Positive Leaders in Action. And we are sharing a lot of the learnings that we're sharing here, there in that Facebook group. And you can also share your content that will help other people. Please feel free to scan the QR code and and join that group as well. You can also follow us for our announcement in facebook.com/positiveworkplaces. Yan po ang aming Facebook page. Alam niyo po, malapit na po kaming mag 10,000. I think 50 na tao na lang yung kailangan namin na followers. So if hindi nyo pa kami fina-follow sa aming Facebook page para makita nyo yung mga future announcements for free webinars like these, please follow us. We are at facebook.com/positiveworkplacesph. Okay. So before we go to the post evaluations, maybe I can answer a few questions in Mentimeter. Okay. What is the greatest failure that you are thankful for? Oh, thank you so much. This is a very personal question. I haven't thought about this actually. I guess the greatest failure that I'm very thankful for was not coming out earlier than I should. I look at that as a failure because I'm gay, and I think one of my failures was I kept on denying myself that reality when I was in high school and when I was in college. For me, that was my greatest failure kasi I've always known, but I guess that is a thing that I'm very thankful for, because I think if I came out early, baka hindi rin siya good timing because I wasn't whole yet. So when I came out naman in a good time, when I learned when to come out right, I was able to become more confident. I was able to have more growth mindset kasi I felt less threatened. So for me, I think that was my greatest failure, but I'm so thankful for that because I think the right time came anyway. So yeah, I hope that helps answer your question. What should a person who used to be in the honors list and got stuck with the workplace situation do? Oh, follow GROW. So follow yung grow. Like set a challenge for yourself, revisit your learning efforts, own your failures, and then want feedback. Follow that. Be brave and follow it. Ang tendency kasi usually ng mga nasa honor roll is pag hindi ka na nakakakuha ng mga magandang grades, bumababa na yung dopamine na pinoproduce ng katawan mo. So you feel like parang paunti-unti na lang, parang nakakonekta dun sa accomplishments lang na yun yung happiness natin. But if you connect your happiness to growth, if you connect your happiness to the relationships that you're able to create because of the journey that you're making, the trials, the challenges that you're taking, the learnings that you're having with other people, that's such a more fulfilling way to live. So for me yon, follow yung grow na follow yung grow na ating diniscuss kanina. When is it healthy to pause growth for a while? When you're tired, you have to pakinggan mo yung sarili mo kung pagod ka. Kasi minsan yung pagod is physical talaga yan na physical and mental yan, hindi ka makatulog, ang dami mong iniisip. Yung appetite mo weird, either sobrang laki or wala. Alam mo yon, ibig sabihin yung katawan mo hindi normal na nagpo-function. O kaya yung may nararamdaman ka mga sakit, ganon. So that means that your body needs to recover a little bit. So when you feel tired physically and mentally, pause. Okay? Don't pressure yourself too much kasi that means that you need some time to be able to recover. So that's my advice to you. Daming question in fairness. Our organization is already adapting this concept. However, most of our employees don't like it because they felt na ang dami daw nilang gagawin aside sa work. Any insight? Maybe they're not doing it right. Kasi growth mindset is not just about challenges. Sometimes if you give people too many challenges, ma-overwhelm naman sila. So balansehin natin yung challenges doon sa learning effort, doon sa feedback. Baka mamaya enough na yung challenge na na-encounter nila ngayon. Ang kailangan nyo lang i-intensify is yung learning effort or yung feedback or yung failures. Baka hindi dagdagan ng challenge. Kasi ang tendency ng companies is dagdagan yung challenge. Talaga, bored ka. Yung feeling ng company mo, bored ka, yung pala pagod ka. Dadagdagan yung challenge. So subukan yung mag-experiment. Baka dagdagan nyo yung learning effort o kaya dagdagan nyo yung feedback or dagdagan nyo yung openness to failure. Baka nandoon yung susi. Okay? What else? How do we become whole? Oh no, this is so hard to answer. How do we become whole? Sige, I will share with you a framework that I believed helped me a little bit. There is a framework called the self-determination theory of Ryan and Desi. So, yung self-determination theory, you can search for that framework. Ang sinasabi nila, that a person's well-being is dependent on 3 factors. Number 1 is autonomy. Number 2 is competence. And number 3 is relatedness, or the relationship, the quality of relationship that he or she has. So for me, naniniwala ako doon, pag mas competent ka sa mga bagay na kailangan mong magawa because of the expectations around you, mas tumataas yung well-being mo, mas nagiging whole ka. Pag mas maganda yung relationships around you, mas nagiging whole ka rin kasi lumalakas yung support system mo. Pag mas meron kang autonomy to make decisions on your life that you want, tumataas din yung well-being mo. So for me, try to look at that. Try to look at the self-determination theory of Ryan and Desi. That helped me a lot. So you can read up a little bit more on that. Starting a routine is easy, but how do you consistently do it on a daily basis? I'll answer you very shortly, but this is for another topic. Try to connect the routine to your strengths. So there are what we call strengths assessment, like via character profile, strengths profile, o kaya Gallup, Clifton Strengths Finder. Yung strengths kasi are strong neural connections, which are our natural inclinations. So for example ako, my top strength in Gallup is significance. So dahil yung significance na yun, sobrang na-engage ako pag ginagamit ko yung strength. Like for example, tong webinars. Dati ayokong mag-webinars kasi nahihiya ako, baka mamaya mabash ako ng mga tao kasi feeling nila hindi tama yung mga sinasabi ko. Pero because of my need for significance, which is my number 1 strength, I was able to find a way to connect being able to do more webinars and training myself to do online learning sessions. Kasi I know I will be able to impact so many lives. Imagine, 250, 260 people in this room kanina. And kahit na 20 people lang yung ma-inspire ko doon sa room na yon, ang dami pa ring lives noon for me. Kasi ibig sabihin nakatulong ako sa buhay nila. So na-connect ako yon doon sa strength ko, which is significance. So we can probably have strengths topics in the future, but in order for you to be able to connect yourself to routines, it has to be connected to your strengths and your natural inclinations. That helps a lot. Mahirap kasi yung pinipilit natin yung routine, tas hindi natin siya gusto. So yan. How do you handle or cope with leaders, bosses who feel like they are being overpowered by you? Merong article in our website called Handling Difficult Conversations. You can try to read up a little bit on that. Kasi sometimes, it's those conversations that help you handle difficult people also. Kasi itong example na to is yung sometimes our boss feels that they are being overpowered by us. Minsan, usapan yan difficult conversation yan, agenda na kailangan natin maklarify. So try to look for that article in our website that says like handling difficult conversations. That will help you out. That will really be able to help you out. How did you handle delays of your plans? I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer this question because I'm an activator and I have very low attention span. Whenever I see something good in front of me, I jump into it, sometimes at the expense of other activities that I have planned. The only way I'm answering this is I look for people who are good at implementing plans because they supplement what I am not strong in. So I look for my compliments. Like for example, Nikki is very good at implementing plans. Our other teammates like Kurt, sila Chi, magaling sila mag-implement ng plans. So I work with them. Yun yung pinakamalapit. Kasi like on a personal level, I'm not good with implementing plans. I'm great at strategizing and creating plans. I'm not good at implementing them. So I hope that helps you a little bit. Diba? Looking for compliments. Good day, sir. How did you keep things going when things get tough? Same answer siguro dun sa tatlo kanina, yung look for how you can improve the 3 areas of well-being in your life, which is relatedness, competence, and autonomy. Again, self-determination theory. Try to read that book by Ryan and Desi, or search for it. There are a lot of free articles online about self-determination theory. That's what helped me. Kasi when I'm able to take care of my well-being, minsan kahit na gaano ka-tough yung nasa harapan mo, you can be resilient. Kasi buo ka. So yun, that's my response to that. Konti na lang. What advice would you give for people who feel burnout or unmotivated? Same thing. Read about the self-determination theory. When you are more whole when it comes to well-being, you feel less burned out. What happens is you start to feel more engaged. Okay? How to be the better one? I'm not sure what this means. I'm sorry, pero let's go to the next one. What's the one thing that you wish you had done at this point in your life? And why haven't you done it yet? Okay, so one of the things that I wanted always to do is I wanted to get a PhD for the title. I wanted to get a PhD because I want to create a body of knowledge about Filipino well-being and leadership that the country can benefit from. Kasi sobrang hindi makapal yung body of knowledge natin dito when it comes to local sociological or psychological literature, especially on leadership. So yun yung isang gustong-gusto kong gawin ngayon. Kaya lang I can't find the time. I can't find the time because it's so hard to mix it with managing a startup. But thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for asking. At least it reminds me. May we request for your presentation? Yeah, sure. I mean, I can... Now, this is what I'm going to do. Since you are here anyway, you are here in the Zoom chat, so marireceive nyo lang siya dahil nandito kayo in the Zoom chat. So I will try to send it via the Zoom chat para you can try to receive it from here. I converted it into, tingnan natin kung kayang masenda. I converted it into PDF. Tapos I'll try to send it via Zoom chat. So yeah, paki-follow po kami. Maraming salamat po for attending this webinar. Make sure you follow and subscribe to our Facebook page. What am I here for? Yeah. There you go. So I'm now sending the presentation in the Zoom chat. Please feel free to share it. A lot of this content is not ours anyway. This is this is borrowed from a lot of resources, but the links are there. So maraming salamat po for coming. Sana po natuto kayo. We are now officially posting the post-evaluation form in the chat box. Ayan. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagdalo. Kami po ay na-appreciate. Sana po umattend din kayo dun sa next one kay Nikki on December 15. Kasi po sobrang ganda po nung hope theory na topic by Charles Snyder. Thank you rin, Pauline. It's been a great year with Positive Workplaces, who has been very generous with webinars. Yes, we don't intend to stop, Pauline. We are seeing our impact in the people who attend. At saka ang nakakatuwa po is rene-recommend pa kami ng mga tao. Imagine we have a lot of students attending the webinars already. Maraming salamat sa mga students at mga teachers na continually nag-share ng mga links natin for registration. Para po sa inyo to. Kasi po, alam niyo po, si Positive Workplaces, hindi po kami mura. Sa pag kinuha niyo po kami internally in your organization, medyo expensive po yung aming training fee. Ginagawa po namin yung ibang content in public para po kahit po wala po kayong resources to be able to afford yung mga learning sessions that we do, you will still be able to access it. Kasi po part of our mission is to educate people a lot about well-being. So maraming salamat po for attending and sharing the content. So yes, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Armand. Thank you, Delilah. Delilah, yeah. Ayan, Natalia, thank you. Very meaty webinar. Maraming salamat. Sana po i-message nyo ko in the future. pag na-achieve nyo na po yung ginawa nating activity kanina sa Power of Yet, you can add me in LinkedIn o kaya you can add Positive Workplaces in LinkedIn para masendan nyo ako ng message. Kasi pag, kunyari, siguro in the future, no, iintayin ko yung mensahe nyo na sinasabi na, John, accountant na ako. Hindi na yet. CPA na talaga. Aabangan ko po talaga yon. Aabangan ko po talaga yon. Kasi ibig po sabihin talagang tinupad nyo yung inyong challenge na pinag-usapan natin today. Ayan, Michael, pag pag may 8 packs ka na, grabe 8 packs. Ano yun, beer? Pero no, seriously, Michael, like if ma-achieve mo yan at talaga namang makuha mo yung abs mo, send me a message at matutuwa ako kasi ibig sabihin nagkaroon ng impact itong webinar sa iyo. Maraming salamat. EK, sabi ni Pauline, EK is open na. Let me know when you want to come. Yes, Pauline. Oh my God, I want to come. I want to go to EK. I'll send you a message. maybe I can go with my team. I can order some tickets from you. Ayan. Shello, we sent the copy of the presentation in the chat box na baka natabunan lang, pero it's already in the chat box somewhere. Yan. Alex also sent it here. Okay? Ayan, maraming salamat. Guys, favor lang po, sana po tama yung inyong email at saka name na ilalagay kasi po hindi na po kami nahirapan po kami mag-resend ng mga certificates. Tapos please wag niyo pong isend doon sa mga hindi umattend kasi minsan nakakakuha ng certificate yung mga hindi uma-attend. Hindi po magandang practice yon. Sayang naman po, libre na nga po yung webinar. Attendan na po natin at pag-aralan na po talaga natin. So, yun. But thank you so much all for attending and I guess for now, that's it. Kung sino na lang yung gustong mag-photo op, you can turn on your cameras so that we can have a quick photo opportunity for the people who are in the room. Tamang-tama po, patapos yung taon. Nako, para makita po ng mga tao na talaga naman, meron tayong 200 plus, 250 people who were able to attend. Thank you so much, Lorraine, Arnulfo, John, Richard, ayan, Beverlyn, ayan, oh my God. Parang ano talaga nationwide talaga tayo nito. So we're gonna go with the first panel. So Jolina is turning on. Smile muna baka mamaya nakahiga pa kayo dyan, makita namin kayo sa video. So smile dyan everyone. Say Merry Christmas. Yay. So that's page 1. We're now going to do page 2. Dami natin dito. Page 2, sa page nila Harold. Huwag niyo muna i-close ha. Page 2. 1. Baka ayan, 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. Yes. All right. I think yun lang yung mga naka-open so far. Hindi na tayo magpe-page 3 kasi hindi naman naka-open yung the others. Okay lang naman yan. But yeah, thank you so much everyone. We're now going to close the room and I hope you have a really awesome holiday. Keep safe. Kita-kita po ulit tayo sa session ni Nikki sa December 15. Maraming salamat po. Ingat po kayo. Bye for now. I-send ko rin po yung picture sa Send ko yung picture sa chat box. Ay, mali. Para meron kayong remembrance. Tag nyo kami sa tag nyo na lang kami sa Facebook pag kayo ay nag-post para makita din namin kayo. Yan. Okay. Ayan. Thanks everyone. Thanks also to Alex and Lara for assisting us today and Kelly for assisting us today in this session. At syempre maraming salamat to Max and Kurt for designing the content for this webinar. Thank you so much. Ingat po kayong lahat. Wala pong pic sa chat ng phone. Oh my God, sorry. Sige, na lang. Try namin i-post sa Facebook page para makita mo. Follow mo yung page para makita mo kung nandun ka. Bye everyone! Enjoy!